beautiful family, welcome back to the Victory Lifestyle channel. My name is Joy Victory, and today I want to start with honesty. I'm nervous truly. When I asked you to message me on WhatsApp and email about the topics you people wanted me to talk about next, I didn't expect that so many of you would choose this one. uh, so many of you said, Joy, talk about toxic parents. Joy, talk about childhood wounds we've hid. Talk about the pain that has shaped who we became. And when I read those messages, I felt something shift in my heart. Not fear, but the weight of knowing how deep these wounds can go. So today, as the title of the video suggests, let's sit together, let's breathe together, let's talk about the things we thought would. Okay, let's talk of the things we were taught not to talk about. And as I told you before, I believe in the tool of storytelling, and I'm gonna give you two stories. The one is self-composed, and another one is just of an African icon that we're going to speak about. There was a girl called Nyambura. She was bright, curious, loving, and one day she told her mom, Mom, I feel lonely even when I'm left home alone. But the mom replied, You think too much, you're just spoiled. So she always tried so harder to be the good daughter. She cleaned, she studied, she helped a lot, but every effort she kept was met with others can do better. Why can't you be like others? Why can't you be like your sister, more like your sister, or more like your brothers and your siblings? So Nyambura learned to shrink, to hide her emotions, to smile when she was breaking, to be perfect, to avoid being punished. Years later, she became an adult who felt guilty for resting, afraid of expressing herself, and terrified of disappointing people oftenly. This is what childhood wounds do. They silently grow into adulthood. And number two story I'm gonna give is for one African icon who spoke about emotional wound. It is this African icon I'm about to mention is a fictional, but actually he's fictional but inspired real African stories. There was an African icon by the name Kwesi Obeng, a brilliant Ghanaian novelist celebrated across the continent. And in a rare interview, he mentioned that the hardest battle he ever fought was trying to love himself when his father didn't teach him how to do that. So he spoke about growing up in a home where achievements were ignored and the mistakes were magnified, where silence was the only language of affection, where emotions were the signs of weakness. And when he became successful, I remember him saying that his father told him, "You are lucky." That was not because he was okay. To him, he was arguing that the father didn't tell him, "I'm proud of you," or "You've worked so hard." He just mentioned, "You are lucky." And he said something again that was really unforgettable. He said that his scars has shaped his art, and that they also shaped his loneliness. So this story actually reminds us of even the strongest people who have bled quietly. It also tells us that even the strongest people bleed. And I'm gonna give some 4 quotes from the Bible. Okay, I'm gonna give some 4 Bible verses. Number 1 is in the book of Psalms chapter 34 verse 18. If you find at your own free time, please go read that verse. Number 2 is Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23. It says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Number 3 verse, go read Isaiah chapter 1 verses 17. And number 4 verse, go read Psalms chapter 147 verses 3. It talks about he heals the brokenhearted and binds up with their wounds. That is actually that. So when you go to read the Bible verses, please do this. I also told you that reading the Bible helps us break some cycles. Remember, you can't just break some. For those, this is for my believer audience. But again, I believe we just have something we believe in. So if you feel like the Bible can help you, please go use the Bible to read in breaking, to read, understand it. It also helps you in breaking cycles when it comes to prayers. Well, there is this quote, I think it's a Kenyan wisdom saying. It says that the child who was not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. I think it's self-explanatory. You know, most of the African tales are always self-explanatory. You can't go deep into it. Another quote, I think it's from Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Ngugi wa Thiong'o is a Kenyan author. I think like right now he's late. He said that a wound that is not spoken becomes a story that controls you. And there is one from West Africa called Chimamanda. She mentioned that to heal, we must first give ourselves permission to fail. So let's quickly get into understanding what toxic parenting looks like. Toxic parenting doesn't it doesn't always look like violence. Sometimes it looks like constant criticism, silent treatment, comparison of children. We have guilt manipulation, we have control disguised as discipline, and this one. We also have insults disguised as jokes. We have the love that feels conditional. This love is just not unconditional, it's conditional. And a parent who says listen to me, but deep down they can't listen to you, that is toxic. That is how toxic parenting looks like. And in many African homes these behaviors have been normalized, but I want to remind you that normal does not mean healthy. So what this toxic parenthood has given rise to a lot of adults who are very toxic. So why children grow up to become toxic is our next topic. How childhood pain turns children into toxic adults. So toxic children are not born, they are shaped. And children who grow up with shame, they always become adults terrified of mistakes. Children who grow up with control becomes adults who don't trust themselves. Number 3, children who grow with neglect becomes the adults who cling or even isolate. Number 4, children who grow up with criticism become adults who are either perfectionists or self-destructive. These I think this we can talk about for those people who love poetry. Poetry is an art that helps us understand. There is this Kenyan poet by the name Achieng Maroa. She once wrote that children learn to love by how we love them, and they learn how did she say, they learn to fear by how we fear them, something along the line. Yeah. So with this, I want us to understand the kind of impact bad parenting has on mental health. And number 1, toxic parenting creates emotional patterns that follow us everywhere, and it can result to depression, anxiety, overthinking, how do I say it, attachment trauma, low self-esteem. Oh my, so many people are battling low self-esteem, relationship difficulties, emotional numbness. You just numb, like you don't feel. This is mostly people who lack empathy. People who are not empaths, it is a problem with them. Chronic guilt, anger issues, people pleasing characters, and feeling never enough. Oh, I mentioned people pleasing. This reminded me that there is someone who texted me requesting that I should do a video on people pleasing. I think I'm gonna do a video on that. I'll honor your request. I may do a video of it, or maybe we can do a live stream of it. I've not yet decided, but I'll decide. So we can refer this to the book of 3 John chapter 1 verse 2. It says, I pray that you may prosper in all the things and be in good health, just as your soul prospers. But how can that soul prosper when childhood pain sits unaddressed? So I want us to quickly understand the damages left behind by toxic parenthood. So toxic parenting leaves behind invisible fractures, and number one, it can be broken self-worth. People who see themselves less of how people view them. People who fear being authentic. We have the difficulty in trusting people. Most people who have been under toxic parents really don't trust anyone. Some even choose partners who resemble parental wounds. I'm not married, I'm not, yeah, but I think I can relate this with that. Most people who have been raised in toxic parenthood, they choose partners who resemble their parental wounds. Some even some even are actually emotionally exhausted. Some have silenced their inner child, and some are living life always waiting to hurt others. That is their, I think it's their lifestyle now. And as a Nigerian writer once said that a scar healed improperly will always bleed when touched. I'm sorry for the background noise. I think there is some background noise from outside and I can't do anything to change that. So I want us to quickly talk about the healing journey of toxic parents, toxic parenting, how you can heal from this. Healing does not mean forgetting. This is to you who is listening to me. Healing means reclaiming your power. And how do you know that? How do you take the steps to heal? Number one, acknowledge the truth. I've always mentioned this when it comes to healing, breaking some cycles. You need to acknowledge the truth. Remember that your pain is valid, and even if nobody else saw it, your pain still is valid. Nobody needs to disapprove of it. Number two, always allow yourself to feel. This reminds me when I was doing, I think our second live stream, when I was tackling the Q&A's questions, the Q&A's, someone, I think I mentioned briefly on the stages of grief, and I told you that whenever you feel some pain, always allow yourself to feel it. Embrace the pain. So allow yourself to feel, and to feel that pain, it's valid. And in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 4, it says there is a time to weep and a time to heal. Number three, set boundaries. Boundaries, I want to remind you that boundaries are not disrespect, but boundaries are self-respect. So set those boundaries high. Number four, seek healing spaces. You can seek therapy. You can go seek therapy from psychiatrists and counseling experts. You can as well major on journaling. You can as well seek mentorship. As what I'm doing right now, I think I'm doing mentorship, so maybe in one way or the other I'm helping someone heal. You can as well seek prayers. You can always pray to God, because God is actually the ultimate healer of all the pain we face. And lastly, you can attend wellness communities, wellness programs. You can in one way or the other find yourself into the journey of healing. Number five, reparent yourself. You see, give yourself the love, the gentleness, the affirmation you ever needed that you never received. So that is actually what I'm trying to mean. You can do it. What your parents didn't do, you can still do it for your own self. Number six, forgive at your pace. Nobody should rush you to forgive them. If you feel like it's not the right time to forgive, please take your time. Forgiveness is at your own pace. And remember, forgiveness is not approval, it is self-freedom. You're just trying to free yourself from some things, from the pain that you've always been carrying from. You don't want to pass that pain to a different generation. So yeah, forgiveness is not approval, it's actually self-freedom. And lastly, rebuild your identity. Create the life your inner child deserved. And as one author wrote, healing is the courage to choose yourself after years of being taught not to do so. So I want to talk to the people who grew up under toxic parents. If you grew up with toxic parents, I want you to hear me clearly. Number one, you are not the problem. You are never the problem, and you will never be the problem. Number two, you are not too emotional. Number three, you are not too sensitive, and you are still not too sensitive. Number four, you are not unworthy of love. You deserve the love. You deserved love, and you are just trying to seek love. Number five, you are simply a child who deserved care, and you are seeking the care, And now, as an adult, you have the permission to heal, you have the permission to grow, you have the permission to break cycles. Remember, this is breaking cycles with Joy Victory. And lastly, you have the permission to redefine your entire life story. You have the permission to change your whole story, the whole narrative about parenting. You have the permission to do that. Remember that. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you for being brave enough to listen to me and watching this video till the end. Thank you for choosing healing, and thank you for trusting me to help you break cycles. And on the next video, we are going to go even deeper, because the next topic will be a sequel to this topic, that is healing the inner child. I'm gonna take you through a journey of understanding the part of you that still needs love, that still needs compassion and safety. Once again, I'm Joy Victory, and this is Joy Victory Lifestyle Channel. And as always, stay gentle with yourselves. Till next time we meet, stay safe. Bye.